presentation for EDU 526, Dealing with Challenging Personalities. Hi, may I help you?
I'm here to discuss the football coach. He's got to go. And if you aren't going to do it, you need to know that the president of the Board of Education is my close personal friend.
Help me to understand. What causes you to feel that Coach Johnson should be replaced?
He doesn't inspire the players, can't motivate them, and he lacks creativity in his coaching.
Are there any other issues?
He's not winning, and he's keeping kids from getting athletic scholarships.
You mentioned that the coach doesn't inspire. Can you go into a little more detail?
He doesn't get kids fired up to play, and he isn't enthusiastic about his job.
As to kids getting fired up or inspired, help me to understand how you've come to that conclusion.
My kid tells me what goes on. He says everybody on the team feels like that. And I can tell you that a lot of parents feel that way too.
Could I ask you a couple of other questions?
If it helps get a new coach, go ahead.
Do you feel that high school sports should be held accountable to the same standard as college sports?
The objective of any game is to win.
I agree that winning is an objective of sport. Do you see any other objectives for high school sports?
Yeah, getting a college scholarship. My kid has been playing football since he was in 5th grade, and he's been to summer camps with 4 Division I coaches. He isn't even getting any letters of inquiry from colleges.
Well, his experience is about the same as 98% of kids who participated in high school sports last year. Grant and aid scholarships are not given to very many high school students.
Now I suppose I'm going to hear a lot of stuff about sportsmanship and character building.
Well, those are values that we teach, and they are supported by our state association and our national regulatory organization. We also consider the fact that the coach can't recruit and builds his team with those kids who are enrolled.
Yeah, but look at his weight room. Old equipment, no programs for the kids. Look at his off-season conditioning program. If it was half as good as South High School, we'd dominate the league.
You've identified some of the things that the coach can control and some factors that the coach cannot control. When we evaluate our coaches, we try to look at those things that the coach can control and that our administration can help with.
Are you going to do something or not?
Well, your comments about motivation, weight room, off-season conditioning are of interest. I'd like to gather more information about those factors and others related to the program. In the final analysis, the principal makes the recommendations to the superintendent and the Board of Education for all teaching and coaching positions, as required by state law.
What do you do?
I advise the principal based on my observations.
Well, you need to get a lot more information about that program.
When dealing with challenging personalities, I would follow the recommendations set forth in LTC 714. There are basically 5 areas that I feel must be considered in order to have a peaceful resolution to the situation. If I were addressing a must-win behavior, the first thing I would do is make sure that I have a goal set, and at this point I would use the goal number 3, which is the maintenance of self-esteem. You need to be prepared for insults and denigration of character coming at you in one of these situations. And due to that, you need to try to stifle your urge to snap back or get involved in negative conversation with the individual. If the conversation becomes too intense, you need to calmly and politely set boundaries, or you need to end the conversation and conclude the meeting altogether. The second area of recommendations is to choose a general management option when dealing with challenging personalities. In a must-win CP situation, I would use 2 courses of action. The first one would be to try to understand the frame of reference for the person that you're dealing with. Try to find an underlying cause of the challenging behavior. For example, in this particular situation, it seems the parent is upset that the student has not had any offers for scholarships. The second course of action would be to stay detached emotionally. Involve humor or behavioral tactics to control your emotions so that you're not responding negatively or losing your cool. There are 6 recommended techniques you can use to respond in an unpleasant interaction situation. The first one is neutralize or control your emotions. Learn about different techniques and things that can help you with this. The next one is assume a controlled and assertive posture and demeanor. Sit forward, make sure you're leaning forward, use eye contact, those types of things. Number 3 is show you are listening and save face. You can do this by using affirmation phrases, paraphrasing, and repeating what the person is saying to you. Also use I statements. Number 4 is to practice your response. You want to be comfortable with the words you're using and the things that you're doing to help bring an end to the situation. Number 5 is to shift the focus. So ask logical and rational questions so that you veer away from emotions and emotional responses. And the last one, number 6, is to focus on the child to find a solution. What's best for the child? And maybe how does the child feel when the CP is trying to bring others into the conversation? This will help to bring them back on track. Know the general needs of the different personalities and avoid irritants that could escalate the situation. In a must-win personality situation, the person is going to try to be dominant. They are going to seek control, mastery, loyalty, and recognition of their authority. Try to avoid ambiguity, lack of respect, laziness, and emotion on your part, as these may cause the must-win personality to intensify their verbal attack into an unpleasant emotional outburst. Choosing to use these steps in managing a challenging personality's behavior, I think you will increase the likelihood of your success in dealing with challenging personalities. This concludes my presentation on dealing with challenging personalities.